What's good, my good peoples? In the news for the last couple of days, they've been speaking on the 11-man Figueroa indictment uh, that happened in LA off of Figueroa, and it's been all over the news. And shit, we're gonna talk about it a little bit, y'all. So let's get straight to it. Um, Everybody come in, hit that like button, do your thing, man. Appreciate everybody for coming. We're gonna check this out a little bit. Let's chop it up, talk about it. And another thing, for all the kids out there, get you a job, man. Don't look up to these dudes in the street that's talking this pimp and stuff. Ain't no future in that shit at all. You know what I mean? Ain't no future in the gang banging. Ain't no future in the pimping. Get you a job. Go to college. If you can't go to college, go to school. Go to go do something positive, man. Something constructive with your life. About to show you something, man. That's probably about to get these youngsters a lot of years. You know what I'm saying? And if you have a daughter, this may be sick to your stomach. So yeah, check this out. Hand me one more water now.
A disturbing sex.
Thank you. All right, here we go. So let's get to it, man.
Trafficking bust. Several suspected gang members arrested, accused of forcing young girls into prostitution. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for being with us. You're watching LA Live News.
Thanks for joining us. I'm Christine Devine. Federal prosecutors here in LA say this is the first major takedown of sex trafficking operation on that infamous Figueroa Street.
Fox 11's Chelsea Edwards spoke to the acting top prosecutor in our area about this bust, and she's live in Westwood tonight. Chelsea?
Yeah, well, this was a big bust. We're talking 11 alleged gang members, including 6 leaders of the Hoover criminal street gang, now indicted on these really disturbing charges. Take a look at some video. These are images that were mentioned in the indictment, things that they posted to social media. Recruited girls as young as 14 years old, many of them runaways or kids from the foster care system. Federal officials say those victims were regularly raped and drugged, all while being forced into prostitution.
Yeah, some of these faces are rappers, some people you might have seen on Instagram, on some of your rap shows. You know what I'm saying? Some of the social media spots. You know what I'm saying? All I gotta say, man, go get you a job. It's just the charges that they're going to be charged with, the human trafficking of minors, moving minors past the state line, looking at like 150 years. I know everybody's heard of the pimp Snooky from back in the day. There was a pimp named Snooky and a couple of other ones, man. I think they gave him 175 years, and he lost everything, because he had a female in his stable that was like 16 years old. And supposedly he didn't know how old she was, but she took down his whole dynasty, by not being smart, not checking ID, if that's the case, you know what I'm saying? But he lost it all, a mansion, a fleet of cars, all types of stuff. Now he's doing like 170 some years in prison. But yeah, get a job, kids.
The alleged ringleader, a 25-year-old woman named Amaya Armstead, who goes by Lady Duck. Prosecutors say she and her co-defendants acted as pimps, using social media to recruit vulnerable teens and young adults, then controlling them through violence. intimidation. According to the indictment, victims who disobeyed were assaulted, humiliated, they were denied food or drugs, and in some cases, branded with tattoos of their traffickers' street names.
I mean, these guys were prolific.
That was P4K right there from Baby Stone Gorillas. He in the last year or so, he's been arrested like 2 times, you know, and let back out, and he kind of got right back to it, I guess, you know what I'm saying? And now they got him again. They said the first time his bill was like 150,000, you know, and he's being charged for some pretty heavy charges. They got him on Instagram beating up girls on Figueroa, you know what I mean? In the broad, well, it wasn't broad daylight, but it was for the world to see, you know what I'm saying? Everybody and their mama seen them out there beating up on the women, looking like a dyke out there beating up on kids, man, like 17-year-old kids, bro. Should be ashamed of itself, man. This type of stuff ain't cool. You know what I mean? Get it together, kids, and get a job. You know what I'm saying?
They were the ones recruiting these young women and children. They're ones out there selling them. They were out there enforcing by beating up these women and drugging them and raping them. And so today we're getting the worst of the worst people off the street, and they're quickly.
Federal prosecutors say the group controlled sex trafficking along a 3.5-mile section of Figueroa Street in South LA, known as the Figueroa Corridor, and they've been in control from February of 2021 until now. Tonight, we sat down with Lori Burns, a survivor who was trafficked into prostitution out of the foster care system as well. She has now made it her life's mission to save victims like the ones from this case, founding the Teen Project, which provides wraparound services to foster.
These dudes are heartless, man. They had foster kids out there doing this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like this. I got a daughter, man. My daughter's 21. You know, she goes to school, she works. That shit still hurts my heart to see a little girl out, 14, 15, 16-year-old little girls out there, bro. These dudes need to be scalped. They privates burned off of them, you know what I'm saying, and sit in prison, you know what I mean? Just, you know, to each his own, you know, and you know, they may not even be guilty, but I'm just saying, for the ones that are convicted and the ones that are arrested, that they have plenty of evidence on, cook them. You know what I'm saying? They don't need to be in our society.
And at-risk young women. She believes the system is broken for everybody involved.
I am very sold for people because I see the girls, I know the stories, I know the stories of the men that have taken them, and it's all a failed system. It's all going to go back to the broken system because a lot of the kids that you see on the street that were gang members were in the system themselves, whether they were in juvenile hall, group homes, or foster homes. They were in that broken system and they came out unhealed, unhelped.
Now, 5 of those suspects pleaded not guilty today, and the trial has now been set for early October. And if convicted as charged.
They said 5 of them pled not guilty, but who knows, man? I guess we gotta wait around. I hate to look like a hater, man, but man, I got a daughter, man. I'm sorry. This shit isn't cool. This is not nothing to look up to. You know what I mean? I'm gonna tell all you youngsters out there, go get you a damn job, go to the military, be a police officer. You know what I'm saying? Hey, hell, get in the Boy Scouts. Do something productive in life, man, because this type of shit, you know, these dudes may have thought that they were gonna get away with this shit, man, but look where it ended out. You know, the little bit of money that they were making, if the police don't take it, you gotta use it for bail. And it's not good.
Some could be facing life in prison. Reporting live from Westwood, I'm Chelsea Edwards, Fox 11 News.
Chelsea, I'm looking at those photos there, thinking of the industry of sex trafficking, and these suspects all seem fairly young.
Yeah, a lot of them, most of them, I would say in their early 20s, very young. And the ringleader, just 25 years old, and a woman as well. Experts say they often use women that are in the system themselves. They use them to get these younger girls to trust them before bringing them in to the same system that they're in. It's a horrible cycle.
Yeah, just a sick industry. About the victims, do we?
It's bad, man. They say some of the males that were doing the pimping stuff, they were like in the foster system too, and that's where they came from. A lot of them came from the foster system. You know what I mean? And like they say, hurt people, I guess. You know what I mean? And that's what led a lot of these dudes to being in this lifestyle. You know.
We have any idea how many there are, and are they all from the Southern California area?
Those are questions that were not answered today. Today, the focus was on the indictment and getting these people off the streets and into federal custody. So, no, we're waiting on details on where they are now and how they're doing.
All right. Glad we're bringing this to light, and good work by agents for sure. Okay. Chelsea, thanks so much. A disturbing sex.
All right, y'all. We're gonna check out one more video, man. I want to give a shout out to Rap News and Street Politics. They did a video on it. It was pretty in depth. Everybody go over there to him, give him a like, share, and subscribe. He did a pretty good video on it. So yeah, let's check him out real quick.
Rap News, Street Politics, the best hood channel on YouTube. True, with the Hoover. Now we only 5 months down the line from when the 6-0s got wrapped up in the RICO, and the feds stayed in the city and came over the Fig, taking down 11 people where they got some.
See, the feds are cleaning the city up right now, man, because they're getting ready for this Olympics. You know what I mean? They're here to clean the city. And look like to me they're doing a pretty damn good job at it. They picked up 11 the first night. I guess a couple of more in this RICO. One of them was P4K, Lady Duck. P4K was, he's a rapper, a part of the Baby Stone Gorillas rap group. And he's been arrested. This would make, I think, his third time being arrested on related charges, you know what I mean? But yeah, let's get to it.
Nasty allegations, and I gotta say, I gotta give a warning to y'all that's listening. It's gonna be some raw deep with what the feds are alleging these defendants have done. Now again, everything is just allegations. They innocent until proven guilty. But you already know how the feds is coming, man. They've done their homework, and they really started it by piecing together everything about the Hoovers. Now, you know, we got some high-profile names on this case. Y'all know we got Lady Duck as the lead defendant.
Look at those names, man. One of them is a guy from Riverside. I think his name is Vermont Star, and he's out of Riverside. And he was arrested last night also. She's not looking good, man. We're not looking good. They went county to county picking up people that was in this indictment, and some of their evidence that they have is pretty touching evidence, man. You know, it's crazy. But the thing is these youngsters, man, they take everything to the Instagram, to social media. You know, everything they do, their guns, their drugs, their money, everything, they go straight to social media with it. Kids, get a job, man. Put your money in the bank account. Real people don't walk around with that type of money, man. They walk around with credit cards, and they work every day. You know what I mean? The drug life and pimping, hustling, selling drugs and carrying guns and shooting and stuff, that life is over. Yeah, I carry my gun, but my shit's legal. You know what I mean? And, I don't brandish, I don't show off, but, to each his own, though.
on this case. And a lot of people ask, how's the only female on this case the lead defendant? For y'all that's in the city, y'all have heard her name before. Y'all may know her. You already know Lady Duck is not. She was already sitting down on the state case for 30 flocks and had a release date. And now the feds have put the squeeze on her, and they finna take everybody down the end.
That's the indictment right there. Those are the names. Those are some familiar names. One which is a rapper, P4K, like I said, and some of the known hoovers, that's been on some of these platforms. You know what I'm saying? They're on that paperwork.
DC. And just to give y'all an idea of what Lady Duck got going on in this indictment, the feds got somebody on tap trying to sell Lady Duck a female for a rack. And if Lady Duck didn't want her, they said they was going to sell her organs across the border. Lady Duck replied, what she look like? So that's the type of role they allege Lady Duck is playing in this indictment. But not only is Lady Duck on here, y'all know we got P4K out the Baby Stone Gorillas from BPS. Everything they was saying about dude, the feds are alleging that him and pretty much everybody else was involved in some nasty activity on Fed. Now with the RICO, they saying that the Hoovers are an enterprise, a full organization that's running a monopoly on the west side of South Central. And as the feds put it, they are operating from Fortray to the one-way. But not only do they got the RICO charge, they got the sex trafficking of the minors by force, fraud, or coercion, transportation of a minor, sexual exploitation of a minor. They got drug trafficking, money laundering, and they got the firearm purchases stacked up against these dudes. But overall, it's 24 victims, with 8 of them being minors. And what I've seen is ranging from ages 14 to 17. Some crazy work that's being alleged in this indictment. But this whole
You hear those ages from 14 to 17? Nasty work, bro. Nasty work.
whole situation started off in February 2021 and ended last week, August 7th, 2025, where they unsealed this indictment and turned the heat up on everybody. Now, February 9th, 2021, Lady Duck was caught with 9 racks, some fake pills that had that fentanyl in it, and a scale for distribution.
That Fetty Wap. Trump got a new law for people getting caught with that Fetty, man. It's not good.
This is the starting point where everything started to go left. And this is when the feds started to fully build their case on the Hoovers as a whole. Not just the pimping. They pretty much got everything except for murders in this and surrounding the Hoovers. They've been studying their rivals. Of course, they well-known rivals and allies. Those facts are pretty well publicized in the streets and, of course, on the internet. But the feds are alleging that the Hoovers got about 1,800 active members right now. And they had 3 main strongholds in this operation. 2 of them being motels, one of them the Stadium Inn, and the other one the 110 Motel, with the Stadium Inn being on Vermont and the 110 Motel being off Florence. And the feds are also alleging that the House of Hotties off Fig, that little female clothing store, was one of the key pieces in helping strengthen the enterprise of the Hoovers. Now, the feds said they were studying the Hoovers for a long time, and they seen even if the Hoovers is having
Everything goes back to social media. These are all videos that you've probably seen on Instagram or TikTok. Bro, people gotta get smarter. I'm not saying that doing this stuff is the way to go. You know what I'm saying? But why would you take this stuff to social media? Why would you go on platforms and show off your winnings or your money from this lifestyle? It's not smart at all. That's one thing I can say, man. The 80s were totally different. They didn't have all of these cameras, you know what I'm saying? They didn't have places for these people to go show off their money and their cars and stuff like that. A big percentage of these crimes are being solved on social media, believe it or not, you know what I'm saying?
an internal conflict between one of their sets. They noticed that when it was time to put in work, all the sets was coming together for Hoover. And this is what they used to prove that they running a full-fledged enterprise. And they also dug deep into how people was getting put on and who exactly was getting walked on because of their family ties into the Hoovers. Now, this is being labeled as a complex case because it has more than 8 defendants. It got 11 total. Well, like we said, Lady Duck, P4K, Vermont Star, Tiny 3, Folo, J Money, Young Poke.
Now, P4K, I think he got arrested in March. He had a $15,000 bill, which means he probably had to come with like $1,000, something like that. He should have quit. He should have left town. He should have did something. Go get a job, start touring or something. You know what I'm saying? I understand he got the rap money to get him a good lawyer, but why bounce back into it knowing the charges that you're facing? No, and they probably let him out on bail so they can continue watching him. You know what I'm saying?
And a few other dudes who are either associates or
those are the guys right there. Those are some of the guys right there involved.
Members of one of the Hoover sets in LA. And Vermont Star is the same dude that we spoke on in our Swan video.
Vermont Star, I think he's the one that came from Riverside. I'm not sure if he's from Riverside, but they say in the indictment paperwork that he's from Riverside or he picked up in Riverside or something like that.
Oh, the dude that just robbed Day 3 homie of his chains. And Tiny 3 is king of Manchester, another rapper coming out the Hoovers.
Pulling heads, pulling skits, nigga better keep it too long. 10 bands for a headshot and we gon' stand on. My cousin Wooty Wham nigga, land on. Like I said, trophy nigga, long live. Yeah, homie, man.
Now, a thing that we gotta stress, like we said, Young Pope, P4K, we gotta let y'all know these charges and allegations we finna go through is nothing to play with. And
the Pope that the guy Pope that they're saying right there is not the Pope that's been going on No Jumper. I'm pretty sure he's not the same Pope. That Pope is doing music right now. I'm sure he's not into this lifestyle. That's a totally different Pope.
Only pertain to the people that we talking about in this indictment. Just because you see Young Poke name, this ain't got nothing to do with the Poke that we know that's doing this entertainment shit. With P4K, this got nothing to do with the Baby Stone Gorillas. Like I said, these charges are nothing to play with, so let's not get silly with the internet shit. Just because you see some familiar names in this indictment. But what's being said is that all these defendants helped each other in one way or another in this human trafficking ring, whether it was with the minors. Everybody played a hand in keeping the grip on the operation. And everybody knows Fig, and we know what hood is on Fig. It said that to operate on Fig, you have to be in good standing with the Hoovers. And they also alleged that some people was paying taxes to play ball on Fig with some of the feet out there. But overall, that fear factor is what the feds are using to glue the Hoovers to a whole enterprise holding in this RICO. And the key thing that y'all gotta realize is the same shit every time. Instagram. Not only are these dudes using these music videos, but they using Instagram to prove the allegations in these indictments. The guns and the drugs are being shown on Instagram, shown in the music video.
Like I said, man, they're taking it right back to Instagram. All of their money, guns, everything, they take it right back to Instagram. And I wouldn't doubt if they probably would have lasted longer or whatever, but why take it back to Instagram? Why show everything that you making on Instagram? It's not cool. Get a job, kids. Go to school, go join the police, the fire department, go do something with your life. Go do something legal. This is where you end up.
Videos, and along with the weapon seizures and the seizure of the drugs, the feds are saying that the Hoovers are using this and keeping drugs and weapons around to protect their assets in these 2 motels and the clothing store. And they said it was also using the clothing store and the motels as stash spots for guns and drugs. And even though dudes like P4K is not from Hoover, they were still involving themselves in Hoover politics and in the Hoover enterprise. BPS is not mentioned once other than as an ally of Hoover in this indictment. But overall, the feds are alleging 441 overt acts that they using against all 11 of these defendants. So overt acts are going to be specific crimes and elements that the feds use as probable cause to set forth the indictment. And again, there's 441 different acts or crimes that were committed.
Like I said, y'all go over to Rap Street News Politics and subscribe to him. He the one that put this together. He did some clean work on this little documentary, and he put it together pretty fast. He did good work, man. Y'all go over there and subscribe to bro. He's good, man. He know how to put together a good documentary.
Now the feds start off by saying most of these defendants was branding their names, tattooing their names on these victims. Some adults and some minors. With Lady Duck having her name on 4 people. Hands having his name on at least 2 people. Folo, aka Figure Four, also had his name on at least 3 people. Info had his name tatted on a 17-year-old girl on her face. And for my star had his name.
Man, that's bad work, bro. These look at the tattoos. They said that these guys were branding their names on these females' body parts or whatever, and I'm not sure how it went down. And I know when the feds get involved, they put the 2 on the 10, like they say. You know what I mean? They put extra charges on there to make it stick, but it just don't look good, man, because a lot of these girls are minors, 14, 15, 16 years old. And it's sad.
Name tatted on a 17-year-old girl on her neck. Now with Lady Duck, the feds say she is a hood trophy. They got this in the indictment, say she's one of the lifelines money-wise for a long time. And it was time for him to start increasing his profits in the streets for the hood. Like I said,
to the people that don't know, a flock is just like when they breaking somebody home invasion. That's like another word for home invasion, I guess. You know what I mean? 30 flocks, man. I guess she was in jail already, man. So yeah, this don't look good for her at all. You know what I mean?
In custody since July of last year, but they got her on tape beating multiple females, and there was that one tape that came out in the store where she was seen beating that pregnant female, where she alleged that female was dissing the Hoovers.
All right, what, bitch? All right, I hope you got the same dress on, bitch. What? Fuck wrong with you, bitch, when you're dissing the set, bitch.
Look, they put this on Instagram, bro. If you do something like that, why take that shit back to social media, bro? Like I said earlier, man, like the guys that were doing like the cross country pimping, pimps up, holes down. They have a video now on YouTube that showed like how much time a lot of those old pimps got for human trafficking. You're talking about like 170 years, 400 years. Like I said, one of them was Pimp Snooky, and a lot of those dudes, man, they were smart enough to get out of the game before it came down to this. You know what I mean? But some of them wasn't. But this stuff don't look good, man. But what hurts the most is that these are 14, 15, 16-year-old kids, bro, that are out there working, doing that type of work, that are being abused by old men, that are out there working the track, you know what I'm saying, and being spit on, jumped on, beaten, pistol whipped, tattooed, you know what I'm saying? And this ain't the word. This ain't a world for, a little girl, that's just finished playing with Barbie dolls and coloring books. This ain't the world for her.
bitch, on the set. Say sorry, bitch. Bitch, say sorry, bitch. Listen to set.
But right before she went down for them flocks, April 26, 2024, she's seen at that Stadium Inn with a 14-year-old girl. Now, her and Jay Money both had hands.
14 years old, bro. Crazy, man.
Look, but she was the main person in dealing with this little girl. And the crazy part is, dudes was actually out here dealing with little girls. At one point, they said this girl had $200 at 2 a.m. And by 4 p.m. the next day, she had $1,500, bringing it straight to Lady Duck. And it got so crazy where the little girl's family ended up finding her at Stadium Inn. And Lady Duck told she started to look like a child predator out here dealing with this little girl. Now, like I said, Jay Money was with her, and all these dudes was around this situation with a 14-year-old girl out.
They couldn't have thought this shit was gonna last forever. You know what I mean? Like, all you gotta do is watch TV, watch the news. You know, look at the results of old pimps that been arrested for these type of crimes. You know, they're not talking about 5, 6, 7 years, 10, 15, 20 years. Bro, they talking about 20, 30 years. Once they change the name over to human trafficking, got nasty. You know, that's when they bumped up the time. You know what I mean? Like, they giving dudes 300-400 years and never getting out of jail. You know what I mean? It's nasty work.
Outside. But like I said, Lady Duck, extremely active in this section. When they needed burners, they was calling Lady Duck. She was caught on a phone call with an undercover space on his head. And one of the main people she was dealing with was P4K. Now, you know, P4K to the internet, he made a cold turn to the pimping. As soon as the rapping started to slow down, everybody saw it. The Baby Stones stopped producing music at the rate that they was producing it at, and P4K really took on this whole pimping moniker. And the feds started to use his rapping with glorifying banging to build this case against him. But this dude was out here leveraging his rapping career, telling.
Right. The nigga's a pretty good rapper at that, bro. This nigga can rap his ass off, you know what I'm saying? He got a pretty good future in rap. I don't understand why he would give up his rap career to do something like that. You see the other three or two guys from Baby Stone Gorillas, they're not involved in this type of stuff. It's just him for some reason, you know what I'm saying? And he's the one that raps the hardest and has more fame than the other ones. So I don't get it.
Females that they could go on tour with him if they hit the blade for him. 2023, it's like this nigga made the New Year's resolution to get pimping because the feds got him posting an ad for females to apply to his pimping. All applicants must be obedient. Again, all of this done on social media, Instagram. Now, after that ad in January,
all on social media, y'all.
2023, July 2023, P4K with a 16-year-old female. And not only was he trafficking her, the feds allege that he was also having an intimate relationship with this 16-year-old girl as well in 2023. And like I said, he was seen with many hoovers, but he was in deep communication with Lady Duck. Point, in the audio recording in the Instagram message, P4K stated to Lady Duck that he pimps minors over the age of 16 and under the age of 18.
Over the age of 16 and under the age of 18. That's nasty, bro.
He admitted it out of his own mouth in his own audio recording, allegedly. So all the bad shit people were saying about P4K, you know, when you had them charges, that's one thing. But now when you get this paperwork, it's a whole nother ball game. When you got the discovery on somebody, it's not looking good for this dude, and it's not looking good for any of these defendants. They all look like the bad people. And we seen a clip of Smack from back on Fig speaking about the child trafficking on Fig.
What is we gonna do about the prostitution out there?
Smack is getting a lot of backlash for this interview. I don't know what platform is this. What platform? I don't know what platform that interview is on, but yeah, he got a lot of backlash. There's videos up today about him being looked at as a snitch for talking about this pimping stuff. When he used to be involved in it, out of his own mouth, he said it. That's what he used to do back in the day.
These kids walking Figueroa,
So-
your kids got to go to school and see this.
So let me just tell you, that's an issue that when we started in the 90s, we were dealing with as well. The difference is that there were women that were on the streets then. Now they're girls that are on the street.
Babies.
Almost across the board, the girls are from the foster care system.
And some people look as if Smack was telling on the Hoovers, anything like that. My thing is, these is the bad people. Everybody in this case dealing with minors is bad. There's no way around it, no way to cut it. I feel like he spoke on what he had to speak on, not necessarily implementing any of his homies, but shining the light on these members dealing with little kids. So Lady Duck, after she had that 14-year-old girl, May 2024, they got her on a phone call with Info talking about the hood is hot right now, and he's specifically hot, and that they come into the hood to pick up these minors off the blade. And everything was well known and publicized between these members from Hope. Now with P4K, what we all seen was when he was beating on that chick on the blade. We had it in our blood report card video.
Look at this nigga P4K, bro. Is it me or does this nigga look like a female dyke?
Put on the chick from the blade. That whole situation, the backstory of that is crazy. So Info, again, Naziz Harris, a flagrant offender in this case. He had a 17-year-old girl earlier this year in January 2025 working for him. P4K ended up knocking the 17-year-old girl and taking her back to Harris, and both of them made the female choose. The female choosing P4K, and Info basically asked P4K if
It's a wrap for that, brother.
he can punch on the female, the 17-year-old girl, as an exit fee. P4K allowed him to punch on the girl and took the female to Fig. Now, of course, shortly after she hit Fig, she went back to Info and left P4K and got back down on the blade for Info. P4K ends up pulling back up on her, and that's where we see him beating on that female on the blade. That was a little girl. And of course, the feds seen that, and they also are alleging that that video was a scare tactic that P4K intentionally put on the internet to show his other females that they need to be obedient to his pimping.
Look at this dude, man. He put it all on Instagram too.
I'm coming hard about mine.
You see him? He said, don't put me on camera. I'm coming hard about mine. Shit, man. It's all bad.
Now, the feds allege that all these dudes was targeting females that was, of course, in foster care, runaways, and females that just grew up and somewhat close to the lifestyle. And of course, they know they was dealing with minors, so they was providing fake IDs, and some kidnapping was involved. Now, like I said with Info, Naziz Harris, he was told multiple times by his homies that dealing with minors was dangerous. But again, not only was he trafficking these females, he's also beating on them. He was going around the hood telling people how the minors is snitching on him about him pistol whipping them. But he had another 17-year-old girl around that same time where P4K had knocked him for the other.
Man, you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes, like they say. You know what I mean? Like, and the prizes you get for these kind of charges, 100, 200, 300 years. All jokes aside, bro, like they're not playing with this stuff. The Olympics coming around, they about to clean LA up for this new stadium, for all the new things that's going on in LA. They cleaning all this shit up.
Minor, and the feds are alleging that he was producing explicit content with this little girl, along with beating on her and getting her hooked on pills. And what blew this dude up, he take this little girl across country, end up getting stopped, and the folks find this pistol. He tells this 17-year-old girl to take the charge for him. And of course, she snitches on him in Nebraska. Nebraska put out the human trafficking of a minor charge on him, and he goes down in March 2025. And after that, they still have him pimping over the jail phone to his feet back in California. But somebody he was in heavy communication with was Young Polk. Now, Young Polk is probably the worst person in this indictment in terms of allegations. Young Polk, real name Keandre Young. He started off with the 15-year-old girl, and then the feds allege that he starts having an intimate relationship with the 15-year-old girl. They uncover, again, explicit content between Young Polk and this little girl. Multiple pieces of content.
What's the deal with these pimps, man? They get into relationships with their prostitutes and they get them pregnant and stuff like that, bro. What's the deal with that type of stuff? I don't get it.
Content though. Then he goes ahead and secures a 17-year-old girl and whoops her feet in front of everybody. And this is when his other little females, his adult females, are approaching him about dealing with minors. And he goes on to berate them about how the minors are bringing in more paper than them. And then after all, another 15-year-old girl. And this dude had the nerve to tell Info that dealing with minors was dangerous. And at one point, he threatened a 17-year-old girl with Lady Poke, saying he was going to have Lady Poke pull up and put them hands on her. But when the female tried to leave him, he goes on, ends up beating the girl and holding her hostage for 7 days straight. And the feds are alleging that he RAPE'd the chick as well. And all.
Look at the charges. Kidnapping. Rape. Human trafficking. Man, those charges don't look good on paperwork at all. You know what I mean? It's not cool.
And dealing with these minors, and this is another reason why they say the gang banging and the pimping don't mix, man. These niggas went wild. They was doing too much. At one point, Info was in communication with Young Poke about one of his girls. The 17-year-old girl was saying that her head was hurting. Info asked her if she wanted to go to the hospital. She said, no, I'm not going to be able to explain these bruises on my face. Mind you, this is a kid. Now, Young Poke also had another 16.
It's a kid, man. It's sad. Damn near bring tears to a nigga eyes, bro. This is a little kid. I have a daughter, you know what I'm saying? And my daughter's 21. She's smart, you know, and she wouldn't fall for something stupid like that. But just makes you wonder, bro. Like, sad.
18-year-old girl with him, and when the feds caught up to him, he had a screenshot of Department of Child Services trying to get in contact with her because he had gaffled her up. And they further glued him to the Enterprise when he recorded and posted when the Hoovers caught them dudes from Main Street slipping, and they had posted the video dissing the Main Streets and whooping on some shit. Now with Foloke, aka Figure Foe, he was on some whole other shit. Of course, the feds are alleging that they was in multiple states. Of course, Vegas is one of them, but they was at least operating in 9 different out here training these females to have them sticky fingers. And everybody sees it that this situation happened because all these females is talking. The feds have made contact with all 24 of these victims clearly, and they all snitched. And when you putting these females in these bad positions, having them yanking the clients, they running and scared for their life. You having them taking gun charges, they gon' tell on your ass. But it said Figure Four sent his chick to steal a Rolex, and when she came back, he punched her in the back of the head. Like I said, he was putting her in the line of fire, putting himself in the line of fire. And they alleged that he ripped her hair out. She pointed a gun at him, and he ended up breaking the female nose. Now, right before Lady Duck went down in 2024, she already knew that the feds was on them. I don't know if it was because of the flocking, but she made multiple statements that spots were under investigation, including hers on 88. The people that rolled up there and they noticed somebody throwing a gun out of her house. They had a lot of people meeting up and a lot of the females on 88th as well. But I believe it's because they was making the spot hot. Dudes like J Money. The feds also alleged he was branding females with tatting his name on their face. But after the chick got his name tatted on the face, he ends up hitting the bitch with the car and told her no matter where she go, he gonna groove her ass. They was truly gorilla pimping out here, man, squeezing these females and these minors for everything they had. And then Matthew Brooks, Buddha, aka Vermont Star, the bad.
Yeah, they gonna watch these dudes, bro. This is the one they say is from Riverside, Vermont Star.
People He also had himself a 17-year-old little girl on the blade, and he was beating on her. The feds got him allegedly stuffing the chick in the trunk and driving with her from Fig all the way to Riverside. And when they got to Riverside, he beat on her some more. Now, the 17-year-old female ended up getting pregnant by Vermont Star, telling him she got pregnant.
Bro, he put her in the trunk, beat her several times, drove her from LA to Riverside. Shit, yikes.
Her in the stomach to where she started to bleed out of a specific place of her body. Y'all know what I'm saying? And then he proceeded to stab her in the leg with a pair of scissors. 17-year-old girl. Now, after this, he ends up shooting at the female, almost hitting her in the face, and he beat her again, chipping her tooth and knocking her braces loose. Now, on top of this, like I said, they was already patrolling Fig. I said people have to be sanctioned to play ball on Fig. He caught somebody that wasn't sanctioned with Info and Tiny 3. They robbed this dude, stole his car, and they took it to a chop shop and chopped it up. So like I said, the pimping and the gangbanging, they doing both. It really blew everything up, along with, of course, doing the nasty work, dealing with minors. Now, Tiny 3, like I said, he was with Gray on that move, but Tiny 3 was also tripping. T-John Gray, he was looking for some new feet, ended up pulling up on another 17-year-old girl fresh out of school at the bus stop. Jumps out on this female, pours some motor oil on her, and his homie come up and rob.
Come on, bro. Motor oil? Bro, you niggas is tripping.
The chick for the gold chain. Again, a whole lot of playing with these minors brought them some unwanted attention. Tiny 3 also drove to San Bernardino's blade and tried to kidnap 2 females. He said they had them in the car, but some way the females had got loose. And they had Tommy Guns March of this year, right when that 6-0 indictment was popping off. He's on a jail call, locked up in LA County, pimping the females over the phone. This is how they built this whole situation on the Hoovers, man. They was doing a whole lot. And then on top of that, they hit them with the money laundering, playing.
They talking over the phone too, bro, in jail. Come on, bro. Come on, my nigga. Sad.
With the paper on Apple Pay and Cash App, advertising the drug sales on social media, also talking about gun deals with they females. The females is snitching. Now they got the same guns that they said they was buying in the music videos and recording themselves beating on the females.
All right, y'all, that's enough. Everybody go over to Rap News Street Politics and give bro a subscribe. Go subscribe to his channel. And yeah, man, shit's getting worse, man. These brothers ain't learning, man. To each his own, though, man. But I advise all you youngsters out there, man, go get a job, man. This shit don't pay off. You know, you ball for 2, 3, maybe 4 to 5 years. You end up going to do like chain gang type numbers, man. Like, it ain't worth it at the end of the day, man, because all of that money, those cars, the houses or whatever, it's gone. Somebody else is going to take it. And are you going to spend it on fighting your case? You know what I mean? And, man, ain't nothing wrong with being a square, man. Go get a job, you know, and do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what your parents would want you to do. But, yeah, man, everybody subscribe. Hit that like button, share the video if possible. All right, thanks, everybody.